Hi everyone, it's Deniz here from Inspired Growth Training, and I've got Darren Hunter with me today for the BDM Coach podcast show. Darren, absolutely amazing having you here with us again today. And Darren, I'm really excited about today's topic because so many people are relying on these people to help them grow the rent roll, but we've come up today with 5 different ways. Do you want to lead in?
Deniz, the problem out there is that there's a lot of BDMs or people who are signed to grow the rent roll that are waiting on that sales team to come over and say, hey, we've sold a property and guess what? Here is the name and number. I'd like you to follow up. And there are so many people out there, Deniz, that just rely on that. And it's been really hard times. I know that sales has just come through an amazing time, but that's dropping off. And you can't rely on the sales team to grow your rent roll, everybody. So right now, today, we're going to go through 5 things, Deniz. So you're the one that's going to be giving us this information. Everyone will understand we're not going in deep on these strategies. We're only, we're going to make this podcast short. Just remember, we've got our Top Growth podcast show. Go to that Top Growth podcast show. That's where we're going to be doing a lot more in depth on these strategies. And of course, Deniz's book, which has got over 40 ways to grow, goes really deep on these strategies too. Make sure you've got the book. Deniz, show us a copy there. PM Lead Secrets. Just go to pmleadsecrets.com. We've already paid for it. You've just got to pay the shipping. Alrighty. So right. pmleadsecrets.com. That's it. And that's the textbook where we're using for this teaching for Top Growth. So certainly get on the Top Growth podcast show. But Deniz, the first one we've got here, one of the ways that we can stop relying on salespeople to grow a rent roll, because you can't rely on that source, certainly not all the time.
No, not at all.
Strategic alliances. What is that? How does that work?
Darren, it's interesting because so many people do rely on the salespeople, and it's what I call a reactive BDM. Are they really a BDM if they're being reactive? So the idea is, strategic alliances, they're the people that are speaking with those potential landlords before they even buy a property, right? So we should be creating funnels of leads to those strategic alliances. So you're already being top of mind with a potential landlord by the time they go through those, all of the different strategic alliances. By the time they hit the salesperson, they may have already had touch points with your name with 3 to 4 different people. So that's why it's really important to be dealing with those people.
So let's talk about who are the other professionals out there that are dealing with your ideal client. Salespeople are dealing with property investors. Who are the other professionals out there, Deniz, that we should be talking with and connecting with and getting leads from?
Okay, let's just think about who the potential landlord is speaking with before they go to the sales agent. That's a simple step to think about straight away. So they may have a mortgage broker that they've got to go to. They've got to go to their accountant as well. Then they've also maybe a financial planner that's involved in that as well. And then you've got your conveyancer or your lawyer or solicitor, depending what country, what you want to call them. They're just a few examples of who those potential purchasers are speaking with prior to a sales agent, because you've got to get certain works done before you go. I mean, they don't even know how much money they'll be able to loan, right? So if you've got good relationships with strategic alliances like a mortgage broker, and you go to the mortgage broker and you say, look, I'm looking to buy an investment property, you want that mortgage broker to scream your name. Oh, look, you need to speak with Deniz. Deniz will be able to help you with the rent returns, what's a good quality property to buy, what's going to attract good quality tenants, et cetera, et cetera. So, picking up the phone, having those conversations with them so that you can be top of mind prior to them even speaking with a sales agent.
So everyone, we've actually just, a Top Growth podcast show, just covered this strategy in depth, goes through what to say when you call them, because they don't say shove off. How can you approach them in a right way? How can you form that relationship? And how can you start getting them to refer you leads now? All right. How to do that. So we covered that in a lot of depth. So the next one, Deniz, is network meetings. Now, what is that? How does that work?
Well, network meetings is when you're actually, so you've got your strategic alliances and you may actually have meetings with those strategic alliances. Darren, chapter 2 of the PM Lead Secret book. It's at the front of the book for a reason. That's how important and powerful it is. But, it's where it's great that you'll make phone calls to strategic alliances, but now it's really important that you actually continually network with them, meet them on a regular basis. An example of this is a BNI network, Business Networking International, the most successful networking organization, and I think they're even the longest standing. That's where there's a group of business owners that are coming together because they want to grow. So they come together as a network meeting. And the great thing about BNI as an example, they only allow one property manager in each group. And they encourage referrals to each other. Why would you not want to surround yourself with other businesses that want to grow, that want to help each other? And one thing that I always say, Darren, when you help someone in their business, it's reciprocal. They feel like they want to help you back, and they do. So it's networking. Other network meetings, Chamber of Commerce is a good one. BX is another good one. Or create your own network meeting, your local network. And don't forget to include other business owners. It doesn't necessarily just have to be strategic alliances. It can be people that are, influencers in their little community. The barista, the retail stores, etc. They're all business owners, are all influencers in their little marketplace.
Yeah. Okay. So, and everyone, we're actually covering that in our Top Growth Academy as well, where Michael and Deniz, our growth coaches, are going to be spending a lot more time with people, coaching them in these particular strategies. So, if you're interested in that and you do want to go to a greater level and depth than just listening to a podcast, you are serious about growth, just go to the igtmembership.com and details will be there. We'll be launching that in the next few weeks. Probably the time you get that, it will be up and running. So we are going to have a level of accountability there as well. But moving on. So, okay, we've got network meetings, which is really good. So firstly, strategic alliances, which is your mortgage brokers, your accountants, your financial planners, all of those other people that are also working with property investors, just like salespeople are. The next one is the network meetings, where those type of people are involved. Business Networking International, BNI, a good person involved in rent roll growth really should be part of BNI, which is across Australia, New Zealand, and the United States, which is great. And the next one, Deniz, is how do we earn more? How do we find more properties with growth with our current clients? So we're going to our warmest raving fans that are already, a phone call away. My goodness, we've even got all their contact details, Deniz, all there, their email address, everything. We don't have to go far to get it.
Not at all.
And just as a reminder, everyone, the Top Growth podcast show, we've also gone into depth with current clients as well and how to do that with the scripts, when to call them, when's the best opportune time to call them, what to say, follow up, and how to bring them across with special offers. So it's in the Top Growth podcast show. But Deniz, in a nutshell, how do we grow with current clients?
You know what I love about this one? Like, we have permission to call them, right? We've got permission to call these people. Like you said, we've got their address, we've got their email, we've got their phone number, multiple phone numbers, and we probably even know where they work, and we can call that as well if we need to get in contact with them. It's about building rapport, continued trust, and turning your current clients into raving fans so they become little BDMs for you in the world of real estate. I mean, we all go to a barbecue, whatever, and as real estate agents, and when people say, what do you do? People are asking us, what's the market once you've told them that you're a real estate agent? Well, investors stick together, right? They're like fish in the sea. So, you often talk about, Darren, when you're talking about maximizing fees and stuff, that they only talk about the management fee, right? Oh, you've got an investment property. What do they charge you, right? So they do talk together. That investor, that landlord that you've got, they may be the go-to person amongst their friends. They may be that person that, is at the barbecue and someone's looking to buy an investment and they go to Darren because they know Darren's got an investment property. So it's really important that you share with your current clients, keep building rapport and asking them to refer business to you. Again, we went through this in very good detail.
Yeah. So everyone, it's even more in depth than Dennis's book, The PM Lead Secrets. Make sure you got that, everybody. Oh no, well, but it is free, everyone. So you don't have any reason to complain about the price. Yes, you need to pay for shipping. That is your investment. That's your buy-in as well. That if you get the book, you're actually going to pick it up and read it if you've had to pay something for it. But it's a great book. It is the most comprehensive rent roll growth book that's been written on the planet. A big congratulations to you, Dennis.
Thank you.
PMLeadSecrets.com. Let's move on. So that's current clients. The next one is Google reviews. And Dennis, I remember I called Martina Berry, who's in Perth. She coached from you and Michael on Google reviews. She just simply implemented what you told her to do. And I called her some months ago and I said, Martina, how's the strategy working for you with Google reviews? Now, if you want to see how well she's done, just go to Google Maps, type in property management Rockingham, not Rockhampton, that's in Queensland, Rockingham, which is Perth, property management Rockingham, and you look at and see all the agents that come up, and she's Professionals Rockingham, and you can see that her reviews right now are in the 600s, and her second competitor with the most reviews is in the 300 or 200s. So there's a massive gap between her and the rest of her opposition with reviews. And she said, Darren, in the last 4 weeks, we've had 276 leads that have come in just from Google because of our reviews. And she said that's sales and property management. So guys, this stuff works. So Dennis, in a nutshell, how can people get more reviews? And this is something, again, we're going to cover in the Top Growth podcast show, but just for people now, in a nutshell, how can they be getting more reviews right now?
Ask. Simply ask, right? It's got to be one of the most underutilized strategies in rent roll growth history. Really, it is so underutilized. Every business can do this, let alone just a BDM. This is about, creating energy out in the world by asking for reviews. This is doing those positive things. Ask those landlords at the happy time, once the tenants moved in, once you've transferred a management across to you because they're unhappy with someone, they're happy. Go and ask for those reviews. And then that's what you will send the link to those potential landlords, showcasing how much trust that your local community has got in your business. Have a look at these reviews. You've got to ask. Don't send the same link out, and we will cover all of this in when we go into more detail. But you can't just keep sending the same link out. Now, what I will say, Darren, I'm talking about Google. I'm not talking about these other third-party websites. If I said to somebody, I'll ask them a question, where would I need the best cafe in the local area. I'm not going to these third-party websites looking for best cafe. I'm going to Google. Potential landlords, if they're looking for a property manager, they don't know about these other websites. They know about Google, right? And guess what else? I'm going to throw TikTok in there as well. Okay, they're looking on TikTok as well, right? So you need to have that presence. But getting those Google reviews, when a client sees, it's got to be more than 50 reviews and above 4 stars, and then you've got some good credibility. But simply ask for Google reviews.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good point. And everyone, I just want to just also put on the table, you've got to have really good points of difference as well. You've got to be radically different from your competitors. Don't do the same as them. Otherwise, the owner will see you as the same as them. And then your fee comes into focus because they haven't got a difference that they visually know why you are unique and magnetized and drawn towards you. One of the things, though, in a listing presentation you can be showing people is with repairs, because that's one of the concerns they've got, is making sure that you've got a good system in place for tenants to be able to quickly get on and report repairs. And after hours, it's always a problem, but Tappy, T-A-P-I, Tappy have a great tenant concierge service. I want you to check it out, because when I saw it as an old school property manager, I just thought, I just wished we had this back in my day. It was so revolutionary in what it was doing. I was so impressed, and I thought this is a total no-brainer And it's not just tenant concierge, it's all the other things they do, because around maintenance, you know, you might be on the big property management software platforms, and I'm not going to go name them off, but, you know, but they don't specialize in maintenance. Sure, they've got maintenance functions, but it's not a specialist maintenance system. You know, it won't have a automatic assistance to help tenants after hours asking questions. Tappy has all of that. I want you to go and check it out. So you just go to Tappy, T-A-P-I, in australia.com.au, or in New Zealand, it's .co.nz, and go and check it out and do yourself a favor and just get a demonstration of how mind-blowingly good it is. It completely knocked my socks off when I saw it. I want you to be impressed too. Know what points of difference you can be using and get an edge above your competitors, because when the owner can't see you any different, now your fee is going to become the focus, and that's not what you want. Let's move on, Deniz. The last one here, the fifth strategy we can be doing to not have to rely on salespeople to feed us leads, is where our person that's growing the rent roll should be attending auctions and sales opens. So we are working alongside salespeople, but we are going out there and meeting the prospects, not waiting for a salesperson to give us their details. Tell us about that, Deniz.
Yeah, totally, Darren. I mean, this is something that I did do. There's actually three aspects to this. You know, there's also watching those sale inquiries that are coming in on the web portals such as realestate.com.au, domain.com.au, and whatever portal that you're using, even your own website, monitoring and watching those leads, because those purchasers are actually putting in there that they are a potential investor. They're asking questions, right? So that's one area that you could be doing it. And the other area is actually attending the home opens, okay? Because people that are looking to buy properties, guess what? They're potential investors. It could be 10% of the people going through, it could be 30%, depending on the market at the time. And those same people are also attending auctions. Now, they may not buy that property, but they will be looking at other properties. And you, as the property management expert, are at those properties, and you are meeting those potential investors. So you can then engage with them, letting them know that that you will be able to give rental opinions on any property. So it's just about building that rapport early prior to them purchasing. Because as we all know, you said it at the beginning, most of the time the sales agents, this person has purchased a property, give them a call. So you're behind the eight ball. If you've built relationships with them through the strategic alliances, at the meeting them at home opens, etc., there's been a few touch points, you're in the box seat, okay? So it's an amazing opportunity. It's all about building those funnels, being creative and being out there doing things rather than waiting on calls to come in.
So Deniz, if people want to talk to you about coaching as well, what's your diary link that they can book in? What is that diary link?
It's a real easy one, Darren. growmyrentroll.com, and they can
growmyrentroll.com. So again, if you want to talk to Deniz about one-on-one coaching, or even to talk about the upcoming Top Growth Academy and getting involved in that, depending on your budget, of course, you know, it's whether you want to go one-on-one coaching or you need to be part of the group coaching. But just get in touch with Deniz at growmyrentroll.com. Of course, make sure you get Deniz's book. And the link to that, pmleadsecrets.com. Make sure you get yourself a copy. We've already paid for the printing. You've just got to pay for the shipping. It's a no-brainer. If you want to grow your rent roll, you've got to get your hands on that book. So, of course, go across to the Top Growth podcast show as well. Just subscribe to that. Be listening to that, where we're going to go a lot more in depth into the strategy. So, Deniz, over to you. Take us out on this podcast.
Yeah, so thanks for being part of it, Darren. You know, there are 5 easy strategies that we've just spoken about, and not relying on the salespeople. Be sure, if you want to generate hot leads, warmer leads that are coming in, you need to be proactive, and you need to be doing these things rather than waiting for the phone call to come in. Don't rely on the salespeople to grow the rent roll for you. Get out there and cover these 5 easy things for you so you can generate more business. If your new business isn't on fire, give us a call. Thank you, Darren.
All right, take care, everyone.